So what's up, everybody? It's me, True Star Screamer, and we are here to look at the Action Force convention exclusive. And I say that in quotes because this guy's going to be sold mostly at conventions, but will be appearing on the Valaverse site. Don't worry, that's where I got mine the first run. They're going to be multiple runs, so don't worry, guys. Don't need to panic. But this is their 100th product, the Bone Collector 2.0. Now, I did do a little video of me opening these. As you guys know, I do have multiples of these, and I did not get any of the bloody variants. Not a big deal. And again, I have got multiple versions of this guy, multiples of this guy for a reason, which we'll get into in a little bit. This is on the blister card, which, okay, it's nicer packaging. It is nice packaging, and it does probably cost less for Vala to make. I get it. Not gonna lie, I've been having that kind of collector's. I get shaky when I take things out of the boxes. As weird as it is, I like being able to put them back in. I don't know why. It's just how I am. Like, that's why I had trouble with the retro card series. I had a bunch of them just still on card. But don't worry, I will be taking this guy out of the package, and we're gonna take a look at him. All right. Before we do, got the cool file card here on the back. I'm sure you can probably post on Vala's sites. We do have 5 action points, which I will be using these. Trust me. I've got that Pandora mail away. I do want that. So, all right, let's take a look at this guy. So I took some time to have some fun with this, and it is a fun figure. Bobby did a couple neat things with the design, with some of the options, which made me really happy. I'm never gonna say a perfect figure, because again, this does have, I don't want to say a few flaws. It has some interesting design choices, and I'm gonna say the tolerances are overall pretty good. These are definitely some of the tighter legs I've worked with. Again, I usually say I prefer a tighter than loose, but I did hit everything with a hairdryer, and it still, it wasn't the most fun to maneuver. Not saying this is bad, I'm just letting you know what you're getting into. As you can see, I've got him decked out with his backpack on, which has the feeding cable. I've got this effect on here with the bullets spreading out. The gun, we'll talk about it. It's really cool, though. But the overall effect is very, very neat. Especially after, and he grips it really well, which is very nice, especially after handling my Torch figure review right there. Because this does handle a few of the, I don't say criticisms to it, but it does kind of counter it just because of the accessories that come standard with an Action Force figure. Now, don't worry. This is not going to be sitting here, waxing the marvels and phantasms of Bobby Vala. Again, he makes good figures, but he doesn't make perfect figures, as you're going to be seeing here. This already is popping out here. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy them. I spend I give a good amount of money there for a reason. I do collect these figures because I enjoy them. So just kind of showing how he looks on here. I probably should have brought out the turntable for this. But we'll get this guy deconstructed in a second, and we'll go over all the details. But I've got the Garrison Cavalry here on the back. It's just, I want to say this. If you're buying it for this right here, hi, I want to put a guy with a big-ass gun. It sounds like the Final Thoughts, but no, this is going to suit those needs. So know that. But let's talk about the figure himself. Here we have Bone Collector 2.0, pretty much vanilla. Going over his design, it is the Bone Collector, which we've gotten before. I do have my 1.0 right here. I don't want to say, they're definitely two different attitudes, that's for sure. The faces are very much the same, but we got, I'll say this, I got a little more defined eyebrow in here. This is the reissue of Bone Collector, by the way, and we'll be bringing him out a couple more times for more comparisons. This is a much more serious face. This is a much more I'm gonna screw it, I'm gonna go kill them all type of mode. In fact, you know, I think with this whole thing, it's literally he's had one of those frustrated moments where the cavalry is getting beaten down, and he's like, "Give me my stuff. I'm gonna go show these troops how it's done." You know, that kind of situation. Well, this is much more tactical, and tactical is a big thing because I mean, the bare arms are neat. But it's very more Road Warrior-esque. I mean, I'll be honest, if I'm going in the middle of a firefight, I would have wanted more armor. Plain and simple. I mean, I love, he's got these tattoos on him. If we take off the gauntlets, we'll see them more. Which is tight as heck, so I really don't want to do it right now. But he's got that pile of skulls, which is great for the character. So... these shoulder pads, everyone talks about it. Yes, they are high. I definitely would have thought it would look better to have them going over the shoulders themselves. Because, again, he's got a lot of bare skin. And this is, for a guy who wants to be wading into battle, unless he's supposed to be going into some jungle territory that's ungodly hot, which might explain the machete, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, it's a great effect. It's a good-looking character. He just looks more like a dreadnought than a cold, calculating soldier, if that makes sense. Which, again, with that, especially with the other skull helmet, this is very dreadnought-esque. So, I don't know. It's just, it doesn't seem concurrent with the 1.0 character, if that makes sense. If to keep this as the Bone Collector. If that figure itself, though, I've got butterfly joint, and this armor does not hinder it, which is nice. But again, if those armor had gone over the shoulders, I don't want to sound like a broken record here. The arms can go down pretty decent. Of course, we got our bicep swivel, double elbow. It's standard Valor versus Fair. I do love the boots. These are not the. These are new boots, I think, which look really cool. I think these are new legs. I'll have to double check on that. Got our drop down hip, waist swivel. There's probably a swivel inside here, but the vest prevents that. The vest looks very, very cool, and yes, is removable. You just gotta pop these out here, and we can I'll probably pull the head off, but that's your basic garrison cavalry shirt underneath of that. So no real need to do it. And then of course it's just kind of a pain to put that back on, but I think we're good there. One thing with the vest, and we'll get to the backpack in a second, you got to make sure it's lined up right to get the backpack in. Once that goes in, he holds it fine. It sticks in fine. I do really like this facial expression. And just really angry, ticked off. And I did do the head swap, so you can actually swap out the heads. And I think the 1.0 head looks really cool on this, and the 2.0 head looks cool on the first body. So these work out really well. I don't know. I still like this. There's just a little more soul to this, and I don't know. It just he just seems more unhinged. Like, I don't know. He got into some kind of substance. I don't know. Make up your own story, kids. This is your own thing. Also, because I got them here, obviously that little mask on there, the 1.0 mask will fit on the 2.0 head, and vice versa. So if you do want to have them switched around to again have this be the more cold, calculating version, but still with this helmet, you can do it. He does come with a solid amount of gear, as we had on display. Again, we've got the backpack here, his machete stores here on the side. This is a very wicked blade. It's a little on the soft plastic, but that means it's not brittle, but it's still not Hasbro rubbery. I will always say, Action Force weapons, hands down, are the best weapons. Whether you collect this line or not, I would definitely say it's worth investing in a couple weapon packs. Just gotta say it. Backpack looks great. I like the soft rubber being used here for the straps. just to be nitpicky, I would have minded a little silver on the buckles, but hey, that's again literally being nitpicky. I love the Tampodon Garrison Cavalry logo. I mean, this box has this ammo crate has dimension. It does have the belt feet on here. May have a soft plastic. I follow a guy called Centex Collectibles, and I don't know why I'm blanking on his YouTube channel, but his TikTok, because his TikTok shows him doing a lot of 3D printing, and he talks about these types of plastics, which I've found very educational. The gun itself, we do get a very cool effect, and I believe this is also in one of the weapons packs. I just can't remember which one. The barrel does spin. I love having the gunmetal on the barrels itself, which is very, very cool. We also have our bullet shell casing effect, which just slides right in here. Reminds me very much of the ones that came with the Ironmonger, which is cool. I mean, this is beautiful. I like this a lot. This is pretty neat, though. We also get an ammo drum with bullets feeding up inside of it as well. So if you don't want to be having using the backpack per se, we can then put this on the underside of the gun here, and it looks like instead of having the belt feed on here, we're pulling from the ammo drum, so this makes it much more portable. That way, if you wanted to give this to, say, a roadblock, or Heavy Duty isn't coming out yet, I think he's on the way, but again, just any other big guys, and you don't want to give them the backpack, we now have a much more portable cannon here. Finally, we get the full array of hands, which I get why he does them, and it's cool he does. I almost never use them, I'll be honest. The default hands still work best. Both of these are on the vertical hinge, which still, when I was holding them, when I put the Vulcan cannon in his, or the minigun in his, on him, this still worked best. I tried giving him the one with the in and out hinge on it, and it just didn't hold right. Go figure. So I still think their default ones are fine. So, but again, I do get why he puts the hands in. It's just make sure you heat everything up before you use it. And finally, we do have the bone helmet here, which is absolutely gorgeous. And of course, definitely makes the character. I mentioned before, this is that whole dreadnought look to it. And you saw how this is compatible with the 1.0. But here's the fun thing. So here I've got the Garrison Cavalry figure, which is, you know, one of my favorite figures, period. I thought this was near action figure perfection. And of course it has this helmet. It's a little loose, but that fits on him. And of course this fits on him. Why do you ask would I want to do this? Well, here's the cool part. Now, obviously I have to deal with that tattoo there, but now, putting this helmet on him, I now have a heavy weapons garrison trooper. So I can have this guy with a squad of these guys, and he's just their heavy weapons guy, which is cool. And this guy now, I can take two of these and have him flank my Bone Collector 2.0 as his elite guard. Or even have these guys flank my Bone Collector 1.0 as his elite guard. You know, they get these cool helmets. So, I think that's pretty neat. I just got to figure out if I want to take the time to acetone off one of these tattoos on here. Just to clean it up a little. But that's for me to figure out, per se. But, first of all, the colors look really good with that. And they look... Now, all of a sudden, I've got, again, my Sergeant with my Garrison Cavalry, and he's got heavy weapons. Cool, cool, cool. So when it's all said and done, I do like this figure. I like this figure as a standalone figure, if this makes sense. You know, this is something where if you're not heavily into Action Force, I think you could still enjoy this guy whether if you want to use him as a Dreadnought, whether you want to have him chasing after the Punisher. He is very out there with his design, and that's something I very much like for an action figure. As weird as it is, my criticisms don't come to the toy itself, but the context of it. This, I feel, is very out of character for the 1.0, for the Bone Collector in general. This guy was into psyops. This guy was he's a more cold killer to it. This is frankly a more crazy killer. I think I would have liked this as a character unto himself, which, in my own personal canon, I can do that, because it's my toys and I choose to do with it. I don't feel any regret in purchasing him. Yes, the shoulder pads I still think are a little high for the aesthetic to it. I would have liked to have them covering more, because if this is a guy wading into battle, I feel he should be covered with as much armor as possible. This is supposed to be a heavy weapons assault. This is a guy who's supposed to be almost taking point, so he should be able to absorb as much impact. I mean, he's got ballistic armor on his chest, but a sharpshooter will just shoot his arms off and he'll be disabled. So there's that going on. It's just, this guy doesn't seem as practical as the Bone Collector appears to be. And that's, again, these are my nitpicks, because, hey, this is how I look at it. The figure itself, though, is awesome. The weapon, badass. Maybe I would have liked him to have a pistol, because you know how I am. You know, he's done there, drops the gun, he can then finally runs out of ammo. He would probably want to have a sidearm with him, because that, again, is practical. You know, I would have even just reused these two, repackaged them with the Magnum and the clips, you know, or even just this. That, I think, is in continuity with the character. This just makes it feel like he's lost his cunning, if that makes sense. But as a soldier, as someone to bolster the ranks of your garrison cavalry, if you want to have him, again, be a Dreadnought, you want to have him have Daredevil going after him, I like this figure. But let me know your comments down below. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and of course, as always, until next time, take care. Peace.